Welcome back to Tom's Gear Rides again, boys and girls. Today, wow, got ourselves a Jonsered. It is a L4721. Model number is 96795730100. All-wheel drive, 21-inch, with a Honda GCB 160. It's been 2 years since I've serviced this thing for her. She said, "Tom, my self-propel quit working." This is going to be one of the heaviest lawnmowers I've ever tried to pick up and put in the back of the truck. Good Lord. I'll tell you, man, you know, we got so much rain, you never have a chance to cut the grass while it's dry. Tell you what, let's go around here and check the Earl. Check the Earl. Check your little Earl. 2 years. Not bad for 2 years. We'll go ahead and get that oil draining while we lay it over and figure out what's going on with the self-propel. Grab my finger oil draining bucket. Yay! Boy, this thing is heavy. Wow. Hey-ya! Okay. She'll get a new air filter and spark plug. Okay, let's find out what's going on with the self-propel. Self-propel. Grab me a flashlight. Okay. Well, there's the problem. Burnt the belt. Burnt the belt. I wonder, I bet you there's something stuck in one of these pulleys. This is all-wheel drive. You got a transmission front and rear. I bet you something's crammed in that pulley. Wouldn't let the belt move, so it just burnt right there on the engine pulley. Yeah, you can see how hot it got. Okay, part numbers. We're going to replace these 3 pulleys. You can hear the bearings in there. We'll do that. We're going to give this thing a good cleaning before we do anything. Let's see, part numbers 587973001 for the pulleys, and a 5803646609 for the belt. Let's get the blade off. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. We'll go ahead and get the blade and get these 3 pulleys off. Let's do that. Let that girl breathe. Should be a 9/16. Yep. Oh boy, she gets a new blade. Yep. She gets a brand new blade. This sucker's wore out. Okay. Whew. Well, I'll notice a 7/16" socket. Well, I think what I'm going to do is wait till we get all the parts in before I start. Take stuff apart. All right, I'm gonna let that oil finish drain, which is probably finished. I'm just gonna take it outside and clean it real good. Get this pulley off there before it falls off. Okay. Next time you see it, it'll be nice and clean and we can actually see what we're working on. Scrape and take it outside and hose it off. Y'all hang with. Well, pal, she's pretty clean now. We got this thing hosed out real good. I'm gonna take this cover off, and we'll pull this cover off as one. We have to take this piece off separately. All right, let's do that. I think I'm gonna start with this front cover. I want to see that. I want to see that pulley. But I got a sneaking feeling there's something stuck in that pulley on that rear transmission. That's where it seems to always happen. Let's see. On this one, you got one screw right there. Where'd it go? If this was a Husqvarna, you would have one behind this, right up there in that corner right there, and you have to take the transmission loose and just work it. And one here. And that cover just pops off like that. That lip kind of goes under. That lip right there goes under there. And when you pull, let's see, let's go ahead and pop this other little piece off. One screw here. This one's different. And then this one's going to be a shoulder bolt. See a little shoulder? So let's not get them mixed up. These are usually broke, but you've got a little clip, a little tab that sticks through right there. Try not to break that. If you do, this thing is going to just flop while you're cutting grass. What I like to do is take a pair of needle movers and a pair of pliers and just give it a little squeeze. You can use a screwdriver. There it goes. So you just pop it loose like that. And you've got another little clip right there. And then this whole thing will just fall off. Drop a screwdriver. Seems easier with a screwdriver. Let's see, where is it? There it is right there. Careful not to break it. See if I can squeeze it with a pair of needle nose. It's a lot easier to get to if I didn't have the lawnmower sitting over. Sorry though. Look, we got it. We got it. There's one clip there. The other clip is right there. All right. Now let's go over here and check out the pulley. Still got a lot of debris in there. This one's clear. Let me get rid of some of that. We'll take an air hose and give that a puff. Make sure there's nothing in there. This transmission in the front sits stationary. You've got a bolt going into it right there. This is what holds the belt guide. This will just sit stationary. It does not move. This one moves. This one pivots. Okay. Let's take this one off. Let's grab our 3/8 ratchet. We got one on the top. If you take and raise the cutting height as much as you can expose the heads of these screws right there. We can get to this one though with the socket. And we'll just reach down here. And grab this one. This here doesn't seem to be hooked or anything. It just kind of hangs out. It needs to be back behind this, but it gets packed full of grass and debris. Oh, let's see. Don't lose that little spring right there. You can see where it hooks into the bodywork. Right there. And it hooks to that piece of metal that surrounds the pulley. It just brings it back when you go to neutral. Just a little slack on the belt so it stops. And we got one clip right here that goes through and sticks out right there. Make sure you get this clipped in before you put the screws back in it and tighten them down. Because you won't be able to get that in there if it's tightened down. That screw and that screw. All right, she should be ready to come out now, really. Ooh, more debris. More debris. What is that? What is that? That's what stopped the belt from being able to turn. If you go in reverse, you can probably pull it out as a stick. That's my stick. It always goes right there. Always hangs right there. I was working on a Husqvarna just yesterday for the same purpose. Same reason, and it was a sweet gum ball wedged in there. What we can do is unhook this. See how that hooks in there? Lay that aside. Remove this little spring, and then we can just turn this. There's a little spring. We just turn this whole thing around. Oh, that's stuck in there good. It goes all the way around, all the way down to there. And this is a soft stick too. There it goes. Well, it's more of just a chunk of wood than it is a stick. Perfectly molded itself to the V of that pulley. And that's why I was lucky enough that Husqvarna yesterday, as soon as it quit pulling, that guy just stopped. And I didn't have to replace his belt or nothing. But this one, she let it go so long it burnt the belt in half. Let's see, that is supposed to be down there like that. It goes from the pulley, it goes on the inside of this, around the crankshaft pulley, through here, back around here, around that pulley and back, and it rides on top and just goes straight to the transmission. That's how that's routed, just like that. All right. Go ahead and pop these pulleys off. It's 11 millimeters what I'm going to use, or you can use a 7/16. There it goes. Oh, that pulley's froze up. Yeah, that pulley, you can't even spin it. No. These two are a 587-969-201. This one is a little different. It is a, let's see if we get the part number off of it. Though usually if it's not an aftermarket pulley, they'll stamp the part number on there. I can't read it though, it's got so much stuff on it. I got it written down though. It is a, let's see. That one pulley is a 58797-3001. $201. Okay, let's get this one off. Yeah, that one sure is crusty too. Yeah, that one, you can feel that too. That's definitely time for some new pulleys. Some of this out of the way. Okay, now let's grab some new pulleys. Okay, got our new pulleys. These are the same pulleys as this one. You just have to press this thing out of there, and it'll be that. All right, let's pull the belt off the front. I don't want to just grab it and pull. I'm going to show you how to take it off if it's not cut. This one's pretty simple. All you do is take your 3/8 socket, and you pull this out. You don't have to pull it all the way out, but let me hit that with a little spray. It's kind of some stuff all over it. A little bit of Hilco lube. I ain't wasting my strock hold on that. And there's the belt guide. That's what sits so close to the pulley. Now you can get the belt off. And we're gonna pull it out from there. Now for the transmission. You've got a quarter head little screw there and a quarter size head screw right there. You can take this one out and just loosen that one, and this thing can pivot, which may do. You may well have to take that out. Because you got to get this thing out from around the pulley so you can get the belt out. There's one screw. Set that right there so you don't lose it. On a Honda, you have to take the pulley off. There's another screw. And now we can pivot this around and get the belt out from around it, like that. Okay, now we're ready for the new belt. Belt part number was 5803-64609. They're all Husqvarna parts. Make sure there's no other debris in this pulley. Well, just fall off then. See, when you have it around like that, it goes this way. So when you pull it back around, it's going that way. I have done that myself. I put them on backwards myself, not realizing I had it turned around 180 degrees. And you just get your little screw started back if you can get it lined up. There's that one. And here's that one. And also make really sure there's a little tab right under that screw. It's got to go through that hole. I've seen these where people put these back together and didn't get that little tab, that little circular tab through that hole. And this thing is not sitting on there right. See that little tab right there? It sticks up. And you've got one on the bottom side too, so make sure that goes in the little holes. Ask me how I know. Get that one snug down. Get this one snug down and give it a little bit. Be easy on it. This thing is plastic. You're going right into the transmission with it. You strip them out, we're all going to be looking for work. Okay, now we'll get the pulleys back on there. I'm going to go ahead and get this engaging cable back in there. There's a little hole in the bottom of that. It goes right in there like that. And you got to remember it goes through the belt. Like that. Just like that. And your little spring hooks in that little hole right there, and it hooks into that little cutout right there, right beside where the little screw goes. Okay. Well, this thing is all kind of twisted up. Okay, this one is going to go to the front of the transmission. Put it in there like that. And we'll stick the guide back in there. Go through the little hole. Make sure it goes on the outside of that belt. Like that. It'll be very easy. Perfect. Alright, now we can put the pulleys back on. These two pulleys with this spacer back there, the screws are like that. This pulley with the hole, the bigger hole, it has that shorter screw. And always leave these things laying over with the carburetor and fuel tank pointing up. Now this is going to go inside of these. Make sure it goes in the groove. Find the little hole, get it started by finger. You don't want to cross thread these. Just like that. Under there. And just like that. All right. We got under, we got over this bar, under the pulley, over this bar, around the transmission, inside that belt finger. It goes inside this one, around the pulley, inside that one, around the crankshaft pulley, and it goes under there and back under that one. Just like that. Now let's grab that crankshaft pulley, get it back on there, so it'll hold on there with the belt. I don't want to get this on the belt, but little anti-seize. I'm going to put it inside here. I don't want to go over that. All right, good enough. And of course, get it all over your fingers. There's the keyway. You'll see it stamped in there. It's got to go in that little groove. Just like that. Just like that. I'm still waiting for that new blade to come in. It's running late. All right, let's take a little gander here. I'm going to take my clamp down the self-propel. Make sure that belt's good and tight. There's an adjustment right here if you need to make it tighter or looser. That feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Everything's on there just so perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna leave that on there because I want to make sure this goes inside the little grooves and stuff in the pulleys. When I put this front cover back on, I want to make sure that it's not pinched anywhere. So we'll go ahead and stick this big piece back on there. Make sure all that, yeah, let me get this debris out here. I mean, look at there. That's why that one piece couldn't fit back under there. Make sure it's nice and clean and clear. Well, it's already deformed now. It's been like that for so many years. It's not going to sit back in there, but that's okay. Make sure you get this. First thing you want to do is get this little clip. Make sure you get that little clip back in there. Okay. We'll get these two little screws started back. Find a hole. And we'll get the bottom one started. Go ahead and tighten that one down on the bottom. And be easy with it because it's going in plastic. Alright, that little clip, this little clip, this shoulder bolt goes through here and that's what holds this. This will screw into that bracket. Just push it through and then push it through. always start this one. This one always wants to cross thread. And take this other little screw. See, these are a lot, this one is a lot smaller than what the front cover and the, because this is going to go, you know, through and into here on the front cover. Make sure the clips are still in. Still got debris falling through. Be very gentle. This one's going into metal, so you can give it a little snuggie. Okay, there's all that. Now we'll get the front cover on. This little lip, it's got to go under that bodywork from the top. Just stick it on there like that. Get this one started. And we'll go ahead and run that one down to the point where it's almost touching. That way it'll be easier to find the hole up here. And just stick your finger in there and hold that thing and drop it a couple times. And okay. A little bit. And a little bit. Okay. We'll wait till the blade comes in, and then we'll slap it on there, and we still got to put oil back in it. And we'll replace that spark plug. Let's go ahead and replace that spark plug now, since we really ain't got nothing else to do. All right, grab us a BPR 5E this. We'll gap her to 30 thou. Very good. Fill the crush sleeve, crush, and go to a stop. Tick. What did I say about her air filter? Oh yeah, she gets a new one. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Dirty, dirty. Let's check that dark one. 17211 ZL8003. Go ahead and put the bolt back in here just to keep that thing from wanting to fall. We're not going to crank it till that blade comes in though. That'll just keep that in place. Well, that's how that works. Well, let's clean up our mess and put some oil in it. Every time I do a job like this, every tool I own ends up on the table. Okay. There's some just debris here. It's just the life of a lawnmower. Okay. Golly, I'm just slung oil everywhere. I've already cleaned this thing. I don't want to have to clean it again. Completely empty. I got a little note. No oil. I always leave the dipstick out of the engine if I know it ain't got oil in it. That way I know. But I couldn't leave it out of this one because it was laid over. Oh, so we better use the okie jug on that and make a big old mess. We are right on the 2-quart mark. We'll put a half a quart in it and check it. Yeah, we're at about a half a quart. It's almost perfect. We'll let this thing settle for just another minute. Let all that run down the inside of the dipstick tube. I don't want to get a false reading. I slung all over this thing when I'm doing that. I'm gonna put a little bitty bit more on there. On these Honda engines, same thing as Kawasaki's, you don't screw it down to check it. I tell every customer that comes in here and they all always don't know it. Well, don't already know that. That should be plenty. Give it a minute to settle them down. I'll tell you, she loves this little lawnmower. Being a lady, she needs this all-wheel drive. She's got a pretty big yard. I bet this thing drags her around. Yeah, that's good. Okay. New belts, pulleys, air filter, spark plug, change the oil. I'll come over here and pull this little sticker off because it's got oil in it now. Well, all right, y'all hang with me. We're going to get this blade. We're going to slap it on there. Hang with. Pow! Got a brand new blade. Part number is 5868-59602, 21-inch Husqvarna blade. Let's see if we can get it open. Open. And of course, they always got to put the sticker right over that hole. Why do they do that? What do they do? Make sure we tighten these down. All right. All right, there we go. New blade, new belt, new pulleys, changed the oil, air filter, sparker plug. Well, let's get this thing down and see if we need to adjust that drive. All right, turn the fuel on. Let's check, see how much fuel's in it. It's almost full. All right. Let's double check the oil before we fire it up. Before we fire it up. All right, we are right on full. All right. All right, let's let this thing down and go fire it up and see how she runs and how she drives. Ooh, Lordy, Lordy. That's good. Well, all right, boys and girls, thanks for watching another Tom W video. That was a Jonsered, which is the same thing as a Husqvarna. What's that model number again? L4721, 21 inch with a Honda GCV 160 engine. It looks like it's sitting kind of crooked, don't it? Huh. I got to figure out, you know, I have another Husqvarna in the carport. The left side of the handles always seem like they're lower than the right side. I don't know why it's doing that. It's just kind of a weak spot in the frame and the deck. Well, y'all be good to each other, man. Holler if you need me, and take your vitamins and eat your vegetables, and say something nice to somebody today. And thanks for watching. Boys and girls, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Love you.